It's better to always start with a strategy before executing any project, or a plan before executing any task. Now, hear me out. A strategy is just a document that helps you define where you have been, where you're going to, how you will get there, and how you would know when you get there. So guys, today on 3-Minute Convos, I would like to take you through what it takes to develop a simple strategy document. Now, if you're in communications like myself, you might just be thinking about a communication strategy, but trust me, the tips I will share right now can apply to any discipline. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, this is the time to do so. When you subscribe to my channel, you get all the scoop around leadership, around communication, and trust me, you'll continue to glean insights from my content, be it interviews, podcasts, or educational content. Now, before you start writing that strategy document, the first thing that you need to do is to define your goals and objectives. What do you really want to achieve with the strategy document that you're preparing? What are your goals? What are your objectives? But always remember that if you're setting goals and objectives, especially objectives, they have to be SMART. And SMART means that they are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. All right, so ensure that you set SMART objectives while developing your strategy document. The second thing that you need to add to that strategy document is your audience analysis. Understand the audience that you're targeting, whether they are customers, whether they are regulators, whether it's the government. You need to have that clarity of who you want to target with your strategy. Conduct audience research. You need to gather insights about your audience, understand what they like, how they like to consume content. All of these are important to help you tailor your messages, if it's a communication strategy, to your audience. The third thing that you need to include in your strategy document is to understand your operating environment, and there are different types of frameworks that you can use. And for the purpose of this conversation, you can use your SWOT analysis, understand the strengths, the weaknesses, and the opportunities and threats that exist, within your operating environment and as it affects your organization. Also, in analyzing your operating environment and your current situation, you need to also take a look at what you have, the tools and resources, within your communications unit, right? What types of communications materials and tools are existing at the moment, and how relevant are they at the time? The next thing to include in your strategy document would be your key messages, all right? So you need to develop clear and concise messages that will be delivered to your target audience. Remember, you've already defined your audience. Now, crafting the key messages that will resonate with your audience is very critical in achieving a successful execution of your strategy. Now, the next thing that you need to include in your strategy document is your choice of channels. You need to be clear about the channels that you will use to reach the audience that you've already identified, all right? There's social media, print media, all sorts of channels available right now. But that clarity is so important because your audience would prefer certain types of channels. Some of them may be in remote areas, some may be in urban areas. So you have to be very clear about the channels that you can use to reach your audience to ensure that your message gets to them. Now, the next thing you need to include in your communication strategy document is your content plan, right? You've already designed and developed your key messages. Now, how would that message be disseminated? You already have the channels, you have the message. Now, in creating a content calendar, this just means that you have a schedule of when content will be shared, all right? When and through which channel, all right? So that's so important to ensure that your messages also get to your audience in the right manner. And do not forget, your content has to be super engaging, it has to be relevant, it has to be concise, it has to speak to what you really want to achieve. So ensure that your content achieves the right purpose. Still on your strategy, the next thing to do is to plan on how you would implement your strategy. So you're going to assign, roles and responsibilities to specific people within the team. So there's a clear definition of the tasks from the strategy that you've developed, and it's also clear who handles each task. So the last thing you need to include in your strategy document is your plan to monitor and evaluate your actions. All right, you need to have clear KPIs, and then you need to be able to track those KPIs using relevant tools and resources. What this does is that you're able to measure how far you've come. A pro tip at this point is when you realize that things are not going according to plan, please feel free to iterate. Your strategy document is not cast in stone. Feel free to make changes as you go along. Also, as part of your monitoring and evaluation, you need to seek feedback from your audience, from the stakeholders in your organization, to find out if your plans are hitting the right notes. So what this means is that your plans are actually helping the organization to achieve its goals. If it's not helping, feel free to iterate. Be flexible. Feel free to adjust your strategy as needed. All right, like I said earlier, your strategy document is not cast in stone. If you realize that along the way there are some changes that need to be made, just go ahead and do that, as long as you achieve your goal in the end. So I hope that you've gathered some insights about how you can develop your strategy. Like I said at the beginning, it's always good to get a strategy document done at the beginning of the year before you execute any project, and also to have a plan before you execute any task. Now remember to subscribe to my channel for more tips, for more hacks on how to navigate your career and your personal life. Thank you.